Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and I had a pretty awesome experience yesterday. I was able to attend the Ann Arbor, I guess Ann Arbor version isn't the right word to use, but the Ann Arbor portion of the Resident Evil 7 anniversary tour, and it was really freaking cool. I got some random free stuff like this. They always use this picture. I have a t-shirt, I think I have, it's the Dark Side Chronicles. I got the Dark Side Chronicles t-shirt, and I'm pretty sure this is the same zombie face underneath. And they have some shirts for sale that also have the same face underneath. I just thought that was kind of funny. I was like, they just stick with that one zombie face. But it was a fun experience. It was up in Ann Arbor. It was from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I got out there around 5 because I don't have a car right now, so I was going through like some crazy stuff. I didn't even know if I'd be able to go, but I was really happy I got the experience to check it out. I was out there standing in the cold. My dad let me take his truck, so I was driving, and they were basically, the way they were set up in the parking lot is it's like, here's the street, here's the sidewalk, and there's the truck and the setup and everything. So before I even was able to get into the parking lot, I was like, oh man, like there's the truck, and I was so excited. And I was just excited just going up there. I was like, man, I'm so freaking pumped to get the chance to play this game. And it was really awesome. I knew what to expect because I actually recently watched the video, so I knew what I was going to be playing, which was the Lantern gameplay demo in VR, which I'd also seen because it's Resident Evil 7, so anytime anything comes out, I'm kind of, on top of it, except for the fact that there is a collector's edition out. I didn't know that until I pre-ordered the game. But I knew what I was going to be playing, but it was going to be in VR, and depending on when I randomly win the lottery, despite not playing, this might be my only time ever playing PlayStation VR, so I really don't know at this point because it's like $400 plus you have to have the PlayStation camera, which is $50. You don't have to have this, but you can also buy the PS Move controllers as well, because that way you can do the individual hand stuff, and it's not just, oh, I'm holding the controller and just walking around. But it's like, this might be my only opportunity. It's Resident Evil 7 in general, so I wanted to, even though it was something I'd seen, I still wanted to play it early. Like, it didn't matter to me. I was like, I want to get this thing early or play it early. And also, if you pre-ordered there, they had some exclusive items that you can get. And they had one for 7. They had one for 4, 5, and 6. I guess 4, 5, 6, and 7. So they had like 4 different pins, and I guess it was like if you got like the PS4 and Xbox One version of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, you'd also get some other pins. I didn't even know they were doing that stuff until I saw a more recent video. Like, man, Resident Evil 4 has come out like, I feel like 10 freaking times by this point, and it probably has. It came out, let's see, GameCube, PS2, Xbox and stuff, the Wii version, the HD remaster. I guess it's only 5. I was being super dramatic, but it's been like 5 different versions. Plus, if you count the digital version, because I think the HD remastered version was the first digital version, and then there's the new digital version, which I don't even know what the heck that is. It's just Resident Evil 4. They can't even call it anything extra because they'd be getting into like, Street Fighter territory with it. Like, it's the HD perfect remastered Ultimate Edition of Resident Evil 4. But all the games are being brought back out, kind of leading up to Resident Evil 7. I have my little pin here that I actually got for pre-ordering Resident Evil 7, and I wanted to get the other ones, but I already own the games, and I'm not that interested in really paying to get them again. And maybe I will do that at some point for like Resident Evil 4. I might end up doing that because my PS2 doesn't really like to read discs anymore, so I might at some point end up getting another version of Resident Evil 4. But this is the pin I got for pre-ordering Resident Evil 7. So this is awesome. This is, as you guys can see, if it'll zoom back in on it, this is the 20th anniversary, I can't even think of what the emblem, or I guess, or symbol that they're doing, but it's inverted, because normally the symbol is actually just black with white lettering, and this instead is white with black lettering. So that I thought was actually pretty awesome. I thought that was very cool. The picture itself, I believe this is all still the same. It's actually this part. It's just normally all of this is black and the letters are white, but instead it's the outside is white with black lettering. So I actually really like that. I was like, okay, I thought it was just going to be the pin, but to make it a little bit more exclusive, it's actually like an inverted color of the actual 20th anniversary emblem. So I thought that was really cool, so I really enjoyed that. which you guys, if you're checking this out, you can just look at my current avatar, because I took the actual channel avatar I took off like months ago. Once this symbol actually came out, I was like, well, it's the 20th anniversary of my favorite franchise, so that's been my emblem, I think, since like before March and like February, something before the actual 20th anniversary. I was like, oh, well, that's my symbol from now on, so that'll kind of be my symbol until, probably until I start doing my full Resident Evil series Let's Play. But I got my pin. They had, like I said, they had VR there, which was really awesome, and that was a fun experience. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to play VR ever again. I'm sure I will at some point. But right now, it's just it's too expensive. Unless somebody gets it for me for Christmas or something, which I would not hate. I wouldn't mind that. You know, right now, Resident Evil is the only game that I can think of that I'd even use VR on. But I heard that the Tomb Raider 20th Anniversary Edition has it, which I may or may not end up getting because I haven't played the new Tomb Raider game. So I might pick, you know, both those up during Black Friday or something. But those have it. Some other random games that I don't care about has it. It's really only Resident Evil at this point. But I also heard that you can actually just play other games. You can just use it as a normal screen. You'll just be, like, it'll just be in VR. So I thought that was pretty cool. It won't, like, actually be VR for every single game, but it'll be like a screen right there. So if you don't have a TV, you can plug it up and just put the headset on and still play the games like you normally would. So I thought that was really cool when I heard that, because I was like, oh, I thought it was like, you know, unless it's a VR game, this thing is useless. So that is not the case, actually. That's actually pretty awesome. I also saw, like right before I started doing this video, that on Facebook, turns out the PSVR just works with anything, because you can play, you use it on the Xbox One, and the PSVR will still work, because it's almost like a capture card. Apparently they didn't set it to be like, hey, this only works on the PS4. Apparently it's just like, yep, just any HDMI cord going into anything else will transfer straight into the VR tablet. So that kind of means it can work for anything, really. If you have sort of the connector thing, theoretically you could probably do it. I don't think this would be possible, but you'd have to get something very special in order to do it to where you could use it on the laptop. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, it goes into the Xbox One and it works, so maybe it works on PC, but you can use it, you know, for normal games as well. So if I ended up getting it, I would lose my mind. I would love that. But going into it, I had a great time. I was waiting in line, just waiting in line. I took a couple pictures. Those will be up on Facebook, so if you want to find those, you can just check the description. I always have a link to the Facebook page. But there are a couple of pictures there that'll be uploaded before this ends up uploading. And I got to see like the truck that they had, which was like the umbrella truck. It was just like a matte Jeep, or it wasn't a Jeep. It was some matte truck. I don't know trucks really. But it just had, it was simple. It was just a matte coloring, and it had the umbrella sticker on the side. I took a couple pictures of the trailer. I took some real useless pictures because they had little things like, oh, this is the notification as far as you being filmed while you're playing the VR and stuff. For some reason, I was so amped. I was just like, all right, I'm going to take a picture of this. And they had Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 there as well. And they had a little tiny thing where it's like, oh, these are the other games available to play. And I just took a picture of that. I was like, I'm at this thing. I'll probably never see these random little things again. And they probably won't be anywhere, you know, at least after this year, once the tour is done. They probably won't be anywhere ever again. They'll probably get rid of that truck or sell it off to somebody, who knows. But I thought it was really cool, so I took some random pictures of a bunch of stuff. Took a picture of like the big side of the truck, which is kind of the normal picture where you see like the silhouette figure of the girl and it's the house and stuff like that. But it was really cool. I got my chance to go in, and it was fun. You know, doing the VR, like you could actually lean over and stuff, and I was like looking into things, and because of course I was actually playing the game, I wasn't like just looking at it, you know, knowing like, okay, this is going to go through with this sort of timing. I was stopping and I was looking at stuff. If you haven't seen the Lantern gameplay demo, I'm going to be kind of explaining this so you won't really understand it fully. But basically, you're being chased by the mother of the family. And so it starts off really simple. You're going all across this bridge of like burnt up baby dolls and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm looking up and I'm doing this and then I'm like, okay, and I'm kind of moving my head because I was trying to see what exactly does it track, like how far does it go and things like that. I went out of the play area quite a few times because I was leaning back too far, moving in too much to try to look around things. But it was really cool. It was really cool. The detail was nice. Something that's been mentioned is, with it being the cheaper version, it's cheaper than other VR things because it doesn't have as high resolution, but it still look good. You can adjust it. There's a simple little button. You just slide the thing back and forth to adjust to, the width of your eyes. And it was really simple. I didn't have any issues with it. I just had like a little bit of where my head is weird, I guess, because it was kind of sliding just a little. I was like, oh, I need to like lift it back up a little. So that was like the only real issue I had. And I think you can adjust the back band as well. But it was pretty simple. I didn't really have an issue with that. I was able to see everything clearly. It wasn't like really messed up and stuff, but it looked good. And I was like leaning down, and they would have the text come up like right in front of you. Like the text would move with you, so the text wasn't like at the bottom, and then if you look up, you can't see what's happening. The text kind of followed your eye movement, and I liked that. I thought it was pretty cool. Sometimes it would disappear depending on what you were looking at. I think they had it kind of blocked off where it was like you look down too far, it'll make the words disappear. And then other times, and this is probably just because of the build of the demo that it has, you would like look over and stuff, and the words would actually move into objects. Like one word would disappear, but the rest of the sentence would still be there. It's little stuff like that. But I didn't really have any issues with clipping or anything like that outside of the text showing up at the bottom. But it was cool. I was able to look around. I was like, okay, this is the house. I looked at this and I was like, okay, this is the house where there's like water in the middle and stuff. And I was like, okay, look over the water and look across. What am I seeing? I was looking for anything I could find. I was in like the ending section where they're having dinner at the table, and I was like, okay, what's in this room? I like turned around. I was looking at everything. Like, what's back here? Like, I need some hints on the story. What's happening? I wasn't even concerned with what was happening in front of me. I was just like, okay, that's in this house. That's rooms over there. I was just trying to see everything else that was in the room that I couldn't find with the trailer because it was kind of static. So I was like, alright, this is over here, that's over there. There's a room. It's very interesting. I don't think they show it at all, but there's a room off to the right side when you're facing the family. There's a room off to the right. It was very bright, and the first thing I thought of was like, that looks like the old Resident Evil. It was like a bright blue room, and maybe it was just the way it looked, or maybe this is actually because of the build. It wasn't as high res as the other stuff I was looking at, but I was like, that actually kind of looks like, it didn't look as horrible. It wasn't like, this looks like it's in the original PlayStation. But I was like, that doesn't look as high res, and it kind of looks, especially with the bright blue, the little nightstand that I was looking at, I was like, that's like a bright brown. And I was like, that just looks like the old Resident Evil games to me. And I don't know if that's just how it's going to look, or if it was the build, because it's like, oh, just have something show up over there, because you can't like get up and walk from the table or anything, because it would say you're out of the playing area. So it's like, just have basically like a little image over there, like a little bit of stuff. But it was cool. I was like, this is awesome. They're in my face and stuff, and I'm looking up. There were a couple of portions where I actually got freaked out a little bit because I was trying not to be captured. And I did die once, but I didn't do it on purpose, but I kind of did. I kind of messed myself up because with it being VR, I'm looking at all this simple stuff. I'm like, oh, there's TVs and there's like some spider-looking stuff. I hope we get spiders back. That would be awesome. But here's some random stuff here and there, and there's a portion when you go through the area that kind of has like the spider webs and stuff. If you stay in there long enough, the candles start blowing out, and that kind of freaked me out because I didn't know that. And I was still looking at things. I was like, okay, I'm ducking down, and I'm like, all right, and I'm leaning in and leaning back, and you hear this noise, and it's like, whew, and I was like, okay, what was that? And I'm like, it's starting to look dark in here, and I noticed like I couldn't see anything. I was like, oh crap! I freaked out for a second because the mother's supposed to be coming at you. So I was like, okay, what's happening here? I thought she was going to show up, but it freaked me out, and I was like, all right, I'm getting out of here. But there's a portion right after that, when she comes down the hallway, you're just supposed to duck behind, like, it's basically just a box. You just get behind the box so she can't see you. And I knew that already, but I was waiting, because it was like, all right, this is my chance to look at the character models up close. So she's talking to herself and being crazy, and she opens the door. And the door was open for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. And I was like, okay. And I stood up. I had my character stand up, and I was kind of walking towards her, and I was like, oh, okay. I was trying to get really close without, like, touching her, because I was like, I just want to look at the character model through, the VR lens, because I probably won't get to see this again. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then she turned. Like, she was standing there for almost 5 full seconds. More than that. I felt like it was. It probably wasn't. It was probably, 5 seconds. But she was standing there. I thought I was fine. That's the only reason I got up. Like, I knew what to do because I watched the demo already. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'm just going to check her out. And then she turned, I was like, oh, and I tried to duck down, but she caught me and I lost. And the guy told me, he was like, you know, you just have to stay behind the box. And I didn't say, like, I did that on purpose. I was like, okay, I was just like, all right. Because I was trying to, you know, like I said, check her out, but I didn't think she would turn because she was just standing there the whole time. And she did, like, the horror movie thing where it's like, let me check one last time. And she turned and looked right at me. And I was like, crap, I didn't know she was going to do that. So that kind of freaked me out. And it was kind of creepy when she, like, you know, runs right at you. So, and it was also a little bit creepier because she sees you and then she doesn't move for a second. I'm like, that kind of makes it a little bit creepier to me that she sees you and she says, like, got you or something like that. And then she doesn't move. And then she walks towards you. I was like, that actually made it a little bit creepier. But going through the rest of it, it was pretty cool, you know, ducking down. And there's a part, the second part where she comes in behind you and you go, like, out the door and she kind of follows you a little, but you can look into the room because there's, like, a messed up, boarded up window. And I was kind of leaning over to see, because she holds, like, the little lamp in front of her. So I'm like, okay, where's the orange light? Because I can't tell what direction she's going in. And that was really cool. That was probably my favorite part when I was actually playing it in VR, because I was like, okay, I know she's at the door, and I was trying not to lean over too far, and I was like, all right, I kind of see the light on that side, but I don't see it coming this way, so I don't know if she's leaving out or if she's going back in. And so she goes in, I was like, whoa, and I kind of moved back because I see the light kind of going into the room again. And it was really cool. I was like, I love this. That was just a nice little experience, and I was leaning up and kind of leaning over and stuff. And that was awesome. It was really cool. And then, like I said, the dinner sequence where I was kind of trying to look at everything else in the room except what was happening right in front of me. But that was cool too. The only weird thing, and this I actually, because I watched a video like the day before I went to the event, I watched another video of a YouTuber where he mentioned he went, and the same thing that he mentioned was exactly what happened, where the father stabs the son in the arm, and it's very pixelated. It was kind of like, that was truly like the first Resident Evil type stuff, where it really just looked like a bunch of tiny red dots. Like, they were all connected, but it wasn't seamless, like, oh, blood squirted out or anything. It was like mist. It wasn't like blood came out. It was like a mist of red came out. And in one sense, it looked cool, because I was like, that actually looks kind of sweet, but in another sense, it doesn't look hyper-realistic like everything else, so that kind of threw me off, like, the tiniest bit. But I was like, alright, I'm assuming that this is the demo, and it's not going to look like that in the full game. If it does, that's a huge issue. But I'm assuming that this is the demo, because they started this, like, about a month ago or something, doing this tour, and it's just the demo. So I know that they've been working on way more than, you know, what we got to see. But in VR, it's different, because, you know, when I remember watching the video, it doesn't look like that. So maybe that's just a part of the VR experience where it looks a little different because they had to change it up a little bit, because it's like you're, you know, right there instead of looking at the screen. It has to look a little bit different, maybe, but it was still fine. I still really enjoyed it. After that, you know, I went through and it was like, okay, you did that, so we have 4, 5, and 6 playing, and they had challenges for each one. So after doing that, whoops, lost the rubber band there. I went through and played 4, 5, and 6. I did 6 first, and it was like you have to get 60,000 points in Mercenary. So I did that on my first try, because 6 is, you know, the last game, so I was still the most familiar with it. And I got myself a poster. So the first thing I did, well, this wasn't the first poster I got. The first poster I got, the second poster I got is the best one, so I'm going to save that for last, because it's actually the 20th anniversary poster. But this was the one that I got, where it's, you know, it's just the normal picture. It's the kind of the typical one. This is actually the second poster, this was the last poster that I actually got. And I was like, okay, it's the normal picture, so that's why I got this one last. And it just has like the tour on back. And also, if you guys happen to be in any of the areas, I'll put a link to the actual tour page so you guys can check it out. Because it's still going on for like another month or so, I believe, because they say it was like 2.5 weeks, because some people were talking to the guy in the line, and he mentioned, you know, how long it was going to be. The other thing, when it was Resident Evil 5, that was also Mercenaries mode, and that was, you only had to get 30,000. That one was hard for me, because it's been forever since I played 5. I think 5 is the one I played the least, because I didn't really enjoy it as much, because they made it too action-y. Like, I know people don't like 6, but 5 was the one that got me when it first came out. But I screwed up the first time, but the second time I actually made it through, and I got my 30,000 points, so I was able to get another poster. So I got this bad boy here. This is the last poster I got, actually. And once again, has the tour dates. It's just like the weird emblem thing, but this is the first one I got, so I was like, you know what, I want to get this because it's different, because I knew what the poster would look like for the first one I showed you guys. I was like, alright, that's like the actual, that is literally the poster image of the game, so I was like, I'll get a different poster. And then I did the final challenge for Resident Evil 4 as well, and that was actually simple. It was, you just start the game from the beginning, and you just have to survive until the bell tower. So that was really easy, even though it was like starting over. It's been a long time since I did 4 brand new, so all I had was the handgun and like the one grenade that's in the room and the shotgun. So it was actually a bit of a challenge. I was like, this is interesting, because normally it's like my 5th time playing through it. I'm just like boom, 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 and I have like the most powerful weapons and I'm killing everybody. But that was cool. And so because I beat all 3 challenges, my picture was actually taken. It's going to be up on the Resident Evil website, so that'll be awesome, and I'll have to post that on Facebook once I get it. But this was the other poster I got after I did the very first challenge, and this is the official Resident Evil 20th anniversary poster. So this is definitely the best one. I've got to find somewhere to put this. I'm glad that Resident Evil 3 Jill is up at the front. So they have all like the new res versions. So this is like Dark Side Chronicles picture, because I have all these pictures on my old laptop, so I know what games they're from. But these are like when they did the remakes and did like Dark Side Chronicles, and they had the new CG cutscenes for all the character models. That's what a lot of those pictures are from. So I love this one. It's definitely the best one. Sadly, there was no merchandise for sale because for whatever reason Ann Arbor wouldn't allow them to sell stuff. So they had the items there because they have like this little plush liquor, which is way too expensive for what it is. It's like 30 bucks, and it's probably like, I think standing up it wouldn't even be the height of this. I think it would probably come up to like maybe right here. That's how tall the plushie is. But the tongue is like almost a foot long or something crazy like that. So you can literally tie the tongue around your neck and have like the little plush liquor hang off your back. So I was still going to get that, even though it was way overpriced. And I wanted to get some of the t-shirts, or at least try to get a t-shirt, like the 20th anniversary thing. I wanted to get that t-shirt because I like that picture. And then maybe get a hoodie or something. I don't know. I was still kind of deciding. I knew I wanted that plushie even though it was overpriced. But sadly, they couldn't get it. And my only hope is that hopefully, if any of that stuff ends up on eBay, it'll be way more than the already expensive price. But my hope is that whatever they have left over, they'll do like a special online sale or something, and I'll be able to go online and get it. And you guys can check out the other items and stuff on the website as well. You can just see what the items were. But really wanted to do this video because I had a great experience with it. I cannot wait for this freaking game to come out. I would love to do it all in VR, but that's just so freaking expensive. But had a fun time. Glad I got my posters. Glad I got the awesome inverted color pen. Like I said, there are a couple of other pictures you guys can check out on the Facebook page. And of course, if you guys were able to check out, the tour event, I would love to know what you guys thought about it, or if you plan on going, or just are excited at anything about Resident Evil. You can put that down in the comment section below. And of course, thank you guys for watching.